Okay, sometimes you will be faced with your behavior from the past that somebody doesn't want to let it go. Somebody doesn't want to let it go. They blame you for everything that they've been through when their choices got them there. I sent him this video that I just found that said, "I know you feel our soul tied too, you avoidant fuck." Like, he's an avoidant. I'm the anxious attachment. He's the avoidant attachment. Um, Not minimizing the behavior that he went through when I was with him, because everything is mirrored. Okay, I've been on my healing journey since we separated, and the part with twin flames is that when you separate, the feminine goes through the spiritual awakening. So I started my healing journey. I crashed the fuck out. I cried every day for a year and a half. I had a life coach, a spiritual coach. She was into tarot. She told me about how my grandma was the first generation and I was the third. My mother had the gift also. Probably people in my family, they just don't use it. They're not attuned. They're not learning. They're just like, they have too much in their like religious hypocrisy to delve into their gifts and learn them, and embrace them and work on them. But not to minimize his behavior, because when I was with him, I had a narcissistic karmic that was in my ear controlling me and him. Literally, he had an amulet that we all had to wear, and he was doing spell work on us, head work, you know, when they use a skull and they use your picture, and they try to manipulate your mind with free will, with black magic, with spell work. And he was into that. He's a much older, he's like twice my age. So I had this narcissistic fuck in my ear telling me XYZ, do this, this, and that, and under the impression of spell work, manipulating my behavior and my free will. And also, I was unhealed. We both were, because when you meet people, you meet them on your same energetic frequency. So like attracts like. We were both unhealed. He's still, I'm sure, because he's with the karmic, that he's still there. He hasn't done any healing work. He might think that he does because his karmic is now doing the same thing to him in his ear, much older than him, telling him blah, 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 this and that. And then everything that I point out, my coach would always tell me, everything that if you tell him now before he has his come to Jesus moment, being around this person, allowing himself to go down that road, just like I did for 17 years, then he would blame me, because that narcissistic karmic is in his ear brainwashing him. Everything's my fault. Everything's my fault. And not to minimize the behavior that he went through. Yeah, trying to kill that passion. Making him hold up his boundaries, this choice to do that. We all have free will. So it's his choice to do it, but this person is in his ear telling him to do it. I believed everything that man told me for 17 years. I wasted with that man, platonically, but he was a healer, somebody that I looked up to, somebody that I wanted to be like to a certain degree, because I'm the feminine twin, and the feminine twin is more spiritual. The masculine twin is more in the physical realm. He doesn't really use his intuition, his inner feminine. He doesn't listen to it. So not to minimize the behavior that I probably was acting narcissistically, because we are unaware of our behavior until we have some kind of something happen to us, stress, moving on, looking forward. Him leaving the Six of Swords is almost like wanting me to get past this. Like, I didn't know really how to heal. I didn't know anything yet. So I was unawakened. And when I went through my spiritual awakening is when he left. So when he left, I went through my awakening. And since then, I have been delving into my gifts, learning my healing. I stopped speaking to that narcissistic karmic. I feel like my old self to a certain degree before I even met him, because I didn't meet him until I was like 24. Yeah, it was a tower. I was going through all kinds of shit because of his. I was doubting myself. It was very much an abuse of control because he had been throwing spell work on my mother that another person told me when I was like right when I got out of the military. He was like 19. There was this girl that did in our town that was like a psychic, and she told me somebody had done spell work to. I didn't understand it until years later, but she told me that somebody had done spell work against my mother, had cursed her, and it fell on me and my brother. And I didn't know anything. And the only person in our whole, like, circle, in our whole family that knew how to do that shit was him. Except, you know, nobody thought that it was him because he was always telling everybody that he was helping and he was doing good and he was protecting. He wasn't doing bad. You know, we were looking up, we were looking forward, and we weren't realizing this man is an abusive control, this little narcissistic energy causing all this doubt. He wanted us running to him to pay him. Now how many thousands of dollars we spent. So he saw me in this light of being triggered by this man constantly with chaos, because that's how it feels when you're around a karmic. It's the Four of Wands with the chaos, the truth. I'm speaking the truth here. This little manipulative, narcissistic woman in feminine energy having a go at me, going with all the twists and the turns because of this person. But this person is a karmic. Look at how it's reversed. So it's very emotionally disconnected. It's to keep me emotionally disconnected from myself, because it wasn't until he was out of my energy and I was protecting myself that his ability to block my intuition, to block my higher knowing, was no longer affecting me. And now he can't do shit, and he's mad that I won't talk to him. Like, he's still trying to throw spell work on me. Everybody in my family that stopped seeing him died. Everybody. And I'm still here because I know how to protect myself, but nobody else listens to me. Everybody else that stopped seeing him went blind, deaf, or dumb, and they died. Yeah, rejection from this unhappiness. Oh, you wanna leave me? You wanna leave me? There he is right there. The Three of Pentacles is about collaboration and working with others. And rejection, like, you don't want to work with me, I'm unhappy, now you're gonna be unhappy. Now you're gonna, like, he's throwing all that shit, trying to, but it doesn't work anymore. And so, not to minimize the masculine's trauma that he experienced with me, but now he has listened to a corrupted karmic that is doing the same thing to him, brainwashing him and telling him not to listen to his intuition, watching him sabotage himself, using him for money. Everything my karmic did to me, see, that's how it's mirrored. It's mirrored. And then the funny thing, another synchronicity that I realized, my very first boy that I was ever intimate with, his name, it's on my, his name, everybody called him Billy. Another name for Billy is William. And that's one of his people that he's with. And then the other one is his real name that I did not realize until later. I was a TA in that class, and I was like, who's that? And they said, that's Billy. And I said, but his legal name was Byron. So that's how everything is mirrored, see? Like, he's literally with the karmic, two of them, that's doing the same thing to him that my karmic of 17 years did to me. But when he left, he is the masculine. He showed me how to break that cycle, because it's a generational curse that was placed on my family. This man has been doing spell work to my family for 40 years now. It was 35 years when he left, which was 4 years ago. So 39, 40 years. 40 years, imagine how long that is. People have died, people have perished, people have gone blind, deaf, dumb. It's him doing spell work on them. But nobody believes me, because nobody knows. Who else knew how to do these things? Because I was just awakened 4 years ago. Before that, I would blindly go to this man and have him do everything for me. So, yeah. Tower, realizing very suddenly, don't talk to this man. Break up with him. Leave him alone. Get away from him. Emotionally disconnect. It's a soulmate, but it's a karmic soulmate meant to teach you a fucking lesson. My mother passed. My grandfather was falling all the time because he was wearing the other one that he made for my grandma. And they had each other's on, and he kept falling and falling and falling, and nobody would tell us why, except a therapist finally told us it was because of something else. But when later did I realize it was because of that thing that he had us wearing. It's an amulet. So Beware of how they throw spell work on you and how manipulative karmics really can be.